What up? What up? There he is.
What's going on? Can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me
All
all
right.
right?
Yes, I can. Let's get into it.
Awesome. What's up, guys? Welcome in. Welcome in. As everyone's coming in, I just want to thank you guys for joining us this Halloween Eve with our good friend Jaden. It's going to be an awesome Instagram live. We're going to get to him in just a second so you guys can hear his story, and then we can just hop right into a Q&A. And you
For
guys can ask whatever
sure.
questions you guys have. So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who's part of the UET community. Again, Jaden is one of you, one of us. He, took our mastermind program a few years back, and man, he has been killing it. I can't wait to get into the details of what he's been doing as of late. Two quick things. Shout out to Dicey Golf. Dicey Golf has been coming out with unbelievable gear, and so you guys know I always love my little, my brands, my companies that I believe in. One of my good buddies, Andrew, he's in the UET community. He is over all the marketing and merch for Dicey Golf. Check him out if you're looking for some cool new swag. Also, if you guys are interested in anything we do here at UET, you can always feel free to shoot me a DM here on Common Education Trading or on my personal Instagram account, Jeremy Lieber or the Real Trader Jeremy. But with that being said, and without further ado, we would like to officially welcome Jaden. Welcome to our Instagram Live today. Really happy to have you
What's
here, dude.
going on? I'm glad to be here, man. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hopefully everyone's getting stoked for an awesome weekend. Again, I've got two little kids, so trick or treating will be happening. They're dressing up as K-pop demon hunters, and I'm I'm dressing up as something from it. So we'll see how that goes. Well, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So Jade, why don't you just start by telling us who you are,
All
where you're
right.
living right now, and then I guess just kind of lead into how you heard about Uncommon Education or how you got started with us,
For
and
sure.
then we'll kind of go to that point, and then I'll start asking you some more questions. But yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself
Absolutely.
and where you're at.
Yeah, so I'm Jaden Beard. I am currently residing in Columbus, Ohio. I'm from outside of Philly though, outside of Philadelphia. Eagles fan through and through. Um, But yeah, when I encountered or found out about Jeremy, I essentially I was knocking doors. I was in door-to-door sales for a few summers. Then got tired of, working 70 hours a week during the summers and 100 degrees. And I always knew this is really what I wanted to come back to. Started off my journey trading when I was 18, graduated high school 2020. Fresh out of high school, I put about 1,000 into the market into options at the time, turned into 5,000, but I was gambling. Next week, lost it all. But I knew I always wanted to do it. And ultimately, I came back here. I got into the mastermind program about 3 years ago. I told Jeremy from the jump I wanted to make this my full time. I wanted this to be my main thing, and I was committed. I had extreme belief in myself, and now I'm just kind of reaping the rewards of. I'm seeing the fruits of the labor I put in, so I'm very grateful, very blessed. But yeah, this is the point we're at now. I've been cranking in futures.
Awesome, dude. So, a few things there. Working a job that, again, I did door-to-door sales as well. It is brutal, brutal hours, right? In the summer, it's sun up to sundown. You
Yeah,
know, you're just getting told no all day long. It's very physically laborious, but also like mentally and emotionally, dude. It just kind of beats you down. So tell me about going through the mastermind program. Just real quick, what was your experience like? Because again, guys, he took our mastermind 3 years ago. We have done 3 additional years. Is that 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
I
Was it
think it's
three?
coming up on three, I believe.
Jeez.
Yeah,
So
or
so
it
much
might be
has
coming up on four. Yeah.
yeah, somewhere in that range. It's been a
Hmm.
long time. So there's been a lot that has happened and we've changed during that time. So what was your just general vibe,
Um,
feedback, or experience with the mastermind program when you took it, which was quite a while ago?
yeah. Resources were great. It was also community was great, but essentially, I think the best thing was just being able to have the trades be able to be reviewed, figure out when I did something that wasn't when I was struggling or had a bad trade, I could immediately come to you or find somebody that could be like, this is why, this is what you should have done better. Or there was always an answer. I don't think there was ever a time I asked you why something went wrong and you said, I don't know. Like there's always an answer. And I prided myself in eventually getting to that point of where I could always have an answer for what I did wrong. And now immediately on my losses, I literally always know what the exact reason was, and I might be pissed for a second, and then I keep it pushing. But um, yes, I feel just the even though there was, there's numbers, I still felt that it was personable enough for me to be able to learn and gain all the knowledge necessary to eventually be self-sufficient. So,
And would you
yeah.
say that previously, when you had made that 5,000 in the market and you said you were gambling, do you feel like going through the mastermind program gave like structure to the market, helped you actually read what's happening and identify without it being gambling, and almost, being able to say, hey, I actually know what's going to be happening here because of the technical analysis aspect? Do you feel like
Oh,
it
for
created
sure.
structure as well?
Absolutely. It gave me structure, it gave me confidence, allowed me to have the technical analysis to really just read what's going to happen, read and react. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't assume, I just react to what the market gives me. And every day I come into the market confident. I could show up 15 minutes before the market opens, look at, okay, what's the trend? What's going on? What's the news? All right, let's rock and roll. Like, because I
Mm-hmm.
trust my analysis, I just know I'm about to win. So yeah, it definitely gave me so much more structure than I had in the past. I never feel like I'm gambling at this point.
Cool. And now I'm excited to brag about Jaden a little bit, you guys. So again, he took Mastermind 3 years ago, and what's so funny about Jaden is literally from day one when he's like, "Hey, I want to make this my full time gig." You've got to understand, Jaden, how many people tell me that, right? Like
Hmm.
I have so many, like almost
Right.
everyone, right? Like, man, I have got
Yeah.
big goals, aspirations. But I'll tell you what, from day one, I remember, and I'll never forget. You were journaling every trade. You were diligent asking
Yeah.
questions, and more important than asking questions, you would ask. Important, you would implement. And
Hmm.
that's such a hard thing, right? Because so many people have all the knowledge, but aren't actually implementing, what they're being taught or what they learn. So one
Right.
thing I would tell everyone, as we get into his success here in just a second, he is a master of learning and being like hungry and anxious to learn more, but he is so good at implementing what he learns, right? And so it's like he's never going to make the same mistake twice, and obviously I'm sure he does, but it's that type of mentality. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
if I make a mistake, no worries, let's identify, okay, let's try to not let that happen again, move forward. And it's just kind of
for
chipping away,
sure.
right? And then eventually get to the point we are now. So let's talk about now. So we're 3 years in to this
Yeah.
journey. And what's fun about this, guys, and I want to point this out as well, Jaden's success at this point has very little to do with me or Uncommon in the
Hmm.
sense of, like his day-to-day success. Yes, help lay the, groundwork, some of the, strategies, things of that nature, but really it's his skill. I don't know what he trades every day. I don't know what his plays are. He is
Hmm.
implementing the skill on his own, which is again what our whole goal is here at UET, is to help you be a self-sufficient, completely independent day trader. So let's talk about now. So I want to get into, futures here in a second, but why don't you tell us a little bit about, success wise, some
Hmm.
highlights. Let's go through your little
Yeah.
little
Uh,
highlights that you
Um,
want to share with everyone of what's been happening the last
for
couple months,
sure.
last year or so.
So yeah, I was one of those when I was like 3, 4 years deep into options, and I was just stuck in my ways. I had that old man mentality of I know what I know, like I don't care about futures. I know what I know. And I remember Jeremy planted the seed of like futures is legit. Like, and I didn't even ask him about it. I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. Cool. Then I had a friend who used to trade options with me, and then he was like showing me all these days he was having, $2,000, $3,000 day, and he's like, bro, this only off $100 account. And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
Right.
And then I did the research on a lot of prop firms, looked into it myself, and I actually made the switch in April, I believe, which is crazy. Kind of, I just taught myself little tweaks on how to transition my strategies in the futures. And essentially, I typically am copy trading around 5 accounts. Right now, I have 8. But on average, the accounts are around $100. So at the time when I had my first 20K week, it was off of $500 worth of accounts, 5 accounts, and I've
And
had
I
up
gotta
to this
pause
point.
you. You guys
Yeah,
heard this right. 20K week. Week. We're not talking month, we're not talking year. We're
yeah,
talking he's having 20K weeks. I just want
it
to
is
establish
crazy.
that before we proceed. Okay. So 20K weeks, continue.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is pretty crazy. It's normalized now, but just even a few months ago, it would have sounded so crazy. But that's kind of starting to get consistent. Because I remember when I wanted 20K months, and then this just the jump from 0 to 100 just it came. It was parabolic, and for me, I realized like, oh, so I started doing the numbers in my head. We've all seen the signs where it's like 1 million a year is 81,000 a month, and then it breaks it down. I was like, shoot, if I just basically get 10 accounts and I make 500 a day. That's 5K a day. There's 20 trading days. That's 100K a month. That's 1.2 right there. It was simple math off of, and 10 accounts is $1,000 worth of accounts. Um, and really $1,000 in as in terms of an options doesn't have the same leverage as it did for futures. So for me, it was a
Totally.
no-brainer. It's also the equalizer between those who have and those who might not have as much that can just you can go from a little to a lot when you're consistent. So I've been very blessed and used a lot of the strategies from really what I learned from UET that I was taught from Jeremy, kind of tweaked them a little bit to move with futures because if as some of y'all know, futures has crazy wicks but great movement. I love it. It's been an amazing journey though. I'm blessed.
So let's talk and break it down a little bit here. You don't need to elaborate crazy, but let's kind of
Hmm.
hit on some of these factors. So for those listening, if you don't know the difference between options trading and futures trading, they're very similar, right? Still trading the New York Stock Exchange
Hmm.
market. It's just different tickers, which are different forms of currency that we're trading essentially in the market, different financial sectors, right? And I think what's cool about futures trading, and just based on having done this for so long and started getting into futures trading myself over the last year, is there's a lot of pros and cons to both, but we teach both in their entirety here at UET. So
Yeah.
even our mastermind program now, it used to be a 5 week mastermind. It's now an 8 week mastermind that includes options and futures. So before we proceed with some questions about prop firms, and then really I want to open up for you guys because there's a bunch
Hmm.
of you on here and I want you guys to ask questions. I am happy to announce for everyone listening here that Jaden, he's going to be able to start helping out in the Uncommon Education trading community from live trading, which is going to be so cool. I know you guys are so excited. He's going to be helping with live trading, along with our other incredible futures analyst, UET Wilson, who you guys know. Wilson's an absolute dog. Even the last few days, he's
Shout
called
out
some
Wilson, man.
bangers of plays, bangers. But James gonna be helping with that, and then he's also gonna be helping in the mastermind program, talking about prop firms, talking about futures, talking about how he's able to trade and make this type of money, only investing essentially 500 bucks to get these access to these accounts. So just want to point that out. Very very excited for that. But let's go ahead and ask some questions now for you, Jaden. So explain very briefly for people who don't know. You spend $100 to have access to a $50,000 prop firm account. Walk us through the process of what that even means or looks like.
Hmm.
When that becomes, kind of
Yeah.
actuality, you get money from it. Just very briefly, kind of walk us through that
Uh-huh.
simple
So
process.
yeah, I can explain it in about 60 seconds, but essentially, you buy access to a 50K account. A 50K account typically gives you, the one I use is like $102 to be exact. Um, gives you access to really like $2,000 in drawdown. That's really what I like to say. I kind of exclude the 50K and just know I have $2,000 of drawdown to work
And that
with.
means for those listening, from the starting account balance of
Hmm.
50,000, you cannot drop below 48,000, right? So you
Yes,
have
yes.
$2,000 of wiggle
Hmm.
room on trades if it's not going your way.
Exactly. And if your risk management's good, that's not much of a worry if you're playing it the right way. But it starts off with you having an evaluation. They give you $3,000 profit target, usually $2,000 of max loss. So as long as I can hit that profit target before max loss, I become a funded trader. Then after that, I build up my profits, and when I pay myself, basically it's an 80-20 split because they take 20 because they gave me access to even having this. So if I pay myself $10,000, I don't mind taking eight. They take two. I only paid $100 for the damn account. So
Mhm.
that's essentially how it works. You're also able to copy trade them. That's why I have 8 accounts right now. Scaling up is so easy. It's like a cheat code. It's genuinely like when people talk about compound interest, compound accounts when you are a consistent trader is incredible. It's life changing. You can literally 5x your earnings with
And let's talk about that for
$500.
a second, right? Because I think a lot of people just don't even understand conceptually. I remember
Hmm.
when I first learned about futures a while ago, this is a couple of years back. I mean, it was like mind-boggling to me when I actually understood what it was all about.
Right.
So what Jaden's saying is he's paying $100 to have access to $50,000 to trade with, and as long as he hits the profit target before that, max drawdown that can occur, he pays himself an 80-20 split off a $50,000 account. So question that I'm sure people have. Let's say, you're going through the test or you break the
Hmm.
rules, you hit that drawdown account and, you lose access to the account. Are you responsible for those thousands of dollars of
Hmm.
loss or what, like, what's the process if you lose the account
Hey,
and you have to restart?
so what I put in is the max loss that I am risking. So if I put in $100, that is what I am risking. And if I want to re-up or take another shot at it, I'm paying another $100. So instead of blowing accounts at $3,000, $5,000 at a time, which I have done on several occasions, with options, I'm only doing it $100 at a time in futures. So it's really, in my opinion, the only type of low risk, high reward type of trading.
I love it. And what's cool, guys, is when he's talking about copy trading, so he passes this account, becomes a funded trader,
Hmm.
and once he does that, what's great is he then can pull profits from that account. Well, what he then does is he'll link additional accounts, right, to
Hmm.
this account. And so if he makes $500 on one account, well, if he has 10 accounts, that's what you're talking about, right? That's the $5,000.
Right.
Um, you got a chili bee. I know there's 50 people on here that'll tell you that this is just the opposite. Appreciate your no picture, no post, ridiculous little thing. Get out of here, dude. We don't want you in here. Get out of here.
There's
But
always one.
always one. But anyway, so that's how he's able to do that. So $20,000 weeks, huge, huge, jump in earnings and what's going on. So I mean, how are you feeling about all this right now? Like where are you
Hmm.
at mentally? Having gone from
Um,
struggling and figuring things out to now, really forecasting what it looks like to make a
yeah.
million bucks in a year.
Um, yeah, it's crazy you say that because that's my goal. Seven-figure year off trading, 2026. I know I'm gonna smash it. But it's more so just enjoying the process and enjoying the journey, I think. And serving other people. That's been like my main focus. It's just serving other people, whether it's teaching. I also coach a 9-year-old football team, and all those little things that keeps me grounded. Um, what's going on, everybody? But yeah, all of those little things that really has built me up to who I am now. Just doing the little things right. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. And it's crazy for me too because it's like just gaining comfortability and stability. It's a blessing, but at the same time, I have the access to be able to do a lot of things I want. But I'm still the same me. I still have the same hobbies and passions. So my quality of life is great. Uh, but yeah, I'm not the type you'll probably never see me in a Miami penthouse with an M3. I have different dreams. I do love cars, but I have different dreams. But I'm just doing the same me, but I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful. And especially coming from where I come from to be at the point I'm at now.
Well, I think that's another cool thing is we've always been, on the same page there with the, our goals of just like, look, we want to live a life of simplicity and a life of freedom, right? Being able to do what we
Hmm.
want when we want. And I've always loved that about Jaden and even the door to door space. He was, working really, really hard for 4 months of the year and being able to not work as much or even at all during the other 8 months. So
Right.
he's continually chasing freedom. He's finding better ways, smarter ways to make money. And honestly, dude, it's just such a massive congrats. And, just
Hmm.
huge kudos to you for sticking through it. And again, 3-year timeline to start making that type of money, that's normal, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's an incredible growth curve and takes less time than going to college or university, no debt, and now making stupid money. So a few other questions. And then for everyone listening, we're about to get to our Q&A portion. So if you have questions, start kind of thinking of what you want. You can type them here and we'll get into it. But Jaden, for you, what would you say for those listening who have been trading, who have gone through
Hmm.
this, who have found, a lack of success? Why don't you give us one or two things that you've done or that have really helped
Hmm.
you, or that you kind of like would say, yeah, this is what has led to my success more than anything else? Why don't you share maybe one or two things there?
First of all, journaling. You have to journal religiously. I still have, I believe, 3, 4, 5 years of journaling. Also, Everett, I'll answer that question in a few minutes. But journaling is my main thing. I would say was the biggest difference maker because it's allowing you to just be real with yourself, holding yourself accountable on those losing days where you're gritting your teeth and you're writing down your wrongs. Like that is the process, the lessons are in losing. But also with that, being able to, I always make a joke like touch grass after the good days and the bad days. Get out, do things you enjoy. Life is about doing things you enjoy. But it also helps you regulate your emotions. I know some people will go back in bed and lay and sulk all day,
Hmm.
but one monkey don't stop the show. I gotta keep going. Even if I had my loss, I'm gonna go do things I enjoy. I might run, work out, do whatever I gotta do. Um, but
Love that.
yes, I think those are just two little tidbits for you.
And I got to say this because I remember this vividly, right? And again, I've had thousands of students come through, but I'll never forget. I remember telling Jaden, I was like, "Hey, like you need to journal and you need to send me your trades, even if it's embarrassing, right? Like
Hmm.
even if you don't want to." And I remember those
Yeah.
2 or 3 days, right? Because every mastermind we go through, people always say the same thing. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Very few actually do. It's the weirdest thing to me.
Mhm.
But what Jane did is he's like, "Hey," and I remember multiple times he'd send me an email. He's like, "Dude, I'm like." I'm shaking my head typing this out. I'm so embarrassed to even tell you that I made this mistake. Like so funny. And but again, it's like it's such a funny thing because it teaches you this super like humility based skill set, right? Like you have to
Hmm.
be so humble when you learn this, and even if you aren't humble, it's going to humble you so fast.
Right.
But it's just can you learn and implement? Like I say right at the beginning of this, what he has done so well is he has learned and then implemented these things, and again, that's where his success has come. So. What I'm going to do, Jaden, I'm going to go through right now because it looks like we got some questions rolling through.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
I
going to
see
read.
'em.
I'm gonna go ahead and read these to you, and I'll ignore ones that I don't want you to have to answer.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and go through. So, yeah, Everett, first question. So, why copy trade and not just add in more money to the same account?
Hmm. Great question. So for me, I love it because my psychology doesn't change. So let's say I'm used to trading the same 2 to 3 contracts, but I have 5 accounts connected on the back end. For me, I'm still seeing the same exact drawdown. So let's say I'm used to seeing maybe 3, 4, $500 in drawdown when I'm in a trade, as opposed to let's say these accounts were combined and it was like a 250K account, for example. I'm seeing $2,500 in drawdown. For me, my psychology might not be the same. I might cut before the move actually eventually bounces back to my take profit. But on top of that, I'm also a firm believer if I can leverage other people's money, why not do it? So that's the main thing. It's just so easy to scale up, and I don't mind giving them a piece of the pie if I'm just compounding my
Especially
profits.
when it's majority, right? I mean, 80-20
Hmm.
split, you're keeping
Exactly.
all of it for
Yeah, and one of
the
the
little
firms I
swing.
use is 90/10. So like,
No,
yeah,
that's awesome. And again, that psychology aspect for those who don't trade, it's such a big difference seeing a $250 drawdown versus a $2,500 drawdown. It is
absolutely.
so different. So
Yeah.
awesome response there. Very, very good. Another question from the stock tenant. How did you handle the mental part of trading, especially after losing the 5K?
I was young. I was 18. So it definitely put me on my butt. I was like, damn. Well, I got to figure out how to get more money because it actually, I think it motivated me even more because I got a taste of what it's like to click a few buttons and to make 5K in a week, at that young age. And I always knew, regardless, even when I went to door to door, I always knew I was going to come back to it just with guidance. Um, for me, I just have extreme belief in myself and I know anything I put my mind to and stick to, I'm going to accomplish. So, um, I just think that that belief and confidence, it went a long way. Um, but yeah, money is abundant. It's always going to come back. That's how I have an abundance mindset.
Guys, I just like I want to stop Jane every sentence he says because he has so much good and so much gold. But again, what he's talking about is he's not stressing the loss. He's just like, okay, how can I make more, right? And again, what he hit on that I think is the X factor, the underlying secret to success as a day trader
Mhm.
is self belief, right? That self belief and confidence is everything. You have to be like
Hmm.
almost like psychotically, confident in yourself and have that level of belief. So again, kudos to you, dude. No one has taught you that other than you and your experiences in life. So seriously,
I
amazing to see, and
appreciate it.
it's really really cool. Louis Day, how do I join to learn trading? We'll touch on that at the end. I must say, Jaden, the mustache is crisp today. I would agree with that. It's looking pretty crisp right now.
Appreciate it. I lined it up the other day. That's my cousin right there.
I love it. Love from the cousin. That's great.
hmm
We've then got I need to know where to start. We're going to touch on that in a sec. What are we
Okay.
trading? I joined hella late. Well, we're not trading anything right now. We're just chatting. Another question. What do you do on good days to keep you grounded? I know emotions are a big thing, trading both good and bad. So maybe, you have this 20K week. You have a day where you make
hmm
8, 10,000 a day. I've seen you do.
Yeah.
What's your way to kind of not let yourself get too confident? Because just as bad as being in a negative headspace, when you feel
hmm
invincible or that you can't lose, that whole pride before the fall thing, right? That's
Oh
usually
yeah.
when things go south. So what do you do to stay grounded and make sure that doesn't happen?
Absolutely. I've been on both ends. That's a phenomenal question. Carlos Gonzalez the second, my cousin. I think
I
I
love
think
it.
that's I think it's really like it's just knowing I'm still the same person. On both the good days, the bad, like, what I tell people is, especially when I'm teaching, is I might have got this from Jeremy, but nobody should be able to tell whether you made or lost $1,000 in a day. They should have no idea. They should really think you went break even based on how your emotions are. I give myself 5 minutes, I'll be like, nice. Really, it's funny. I honestly don't react anymore to like the green days. I'm just like, all right, cool. That was nice. Let's go. I'll see y'all tomorrow when I'm live trading. But yeah, it's just I'm the same me. I'm still gonna probably hit up a coffee shop and sip on a vanilla chai and look fake busy on my computer, maybe back test or something. Like, but still just doing the same thing. I have a routine. I'm still the same person. So I think staying grounded, staying humble, it helps because I know what it's like to have the red days. When the green days come, it's just when it's a new day, it's a new day. Yesterday
Yeah.
has nothing to do with my performance today. So every day I pray and I say, let's execute.
Love it, dude. I love it. And I want to just like reiterate that too, because I think a lot of people get stressed during the trading journey or they get down on themselves, right? They're really
hmm
negative and critique themselves hard. So I have two kids, right? A 6-year-old and a 2-year old. Two little girls are the best. And I used to let trades affect me for sure when I was learning and starting out, right before I even
Absolutely.
started on Common. And it's funny having kids, one day I came out and I was kind of like upset or mad, and I was like, man, my kids are only this age once, right? And like
hmm
their first interaction with me in the day, because I wake up really early, is when I
Yeah.
come out of my office from trading. And so it was kind of like like sobering, somber moment where I was like, you know
hmm
what? I gotta be I got to be the light, the positive, the strong, whatever in their life. So now, literally, I've blown accounts over the years. I've done all these things, and it doesn't matter when I walk out that door. I'm smiling, happy to see the
Gotta
kids.
be.
Ready to send them off to school. And I really think that's such a valuable skill to have. And again, it's not surprising that you have that, considering the success that you have. Let's go ahead and have a few more questions, guys. If you have questions, again, Jaden, $20,000 weeks, trading prop firm extraordinaire. We're going to be talking right at the end of this of how you can actually work with him and actually trade and get involved with this. But again, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Next question. What's your process for deciding when not to trade? I know there's times when you might go
Mm,
without trading and then times when you're on it every single day. So I guess what gauge do you use to know, hey,
yeah.
I'm going to be trading today or not?
Yeah, so that first off, that's a phenomenal question. Great question. So I have a certain set of rules. I can only trade in certain time periods. So 9:30 to 10:30 for me, Eastern Standard Time, and then 3:30 to 4. Sometimes I'll indulge in close. I don't tell too many people that that's the one time I get to solo trade is
Yep.
3:30 to 4 o'clock. So it has to be in those time periods specifically, but also if there's some huge news event where I know it's going to cause either crazy volatility or it might cause the market to be at a standstill, to be sideways for a certain period of time at open, really the only time I don't like to trade is when I see consolidations forming. When we get in a range where I usually say, okay, we're getting an EKG machine right now. It looks like a heart rate sensor where it's
Yep.
just sideways. That's typically like yeah, that's just when I decide not to take a trade. It's not very often, but if I don't take a trade, it's because it was Chop City. It was a lot of consolidation, which means for those of you that aren't familiar, just markets moving sideways. It's not picking a side, and that's genuinely what that is.
Perfect. That's such a good response, and I absolutely love it. Another question: what do you prefer to trade in futures? NQ, ES, gold, minis, micros. What do you like to trade?
So, NQ is my baby, the Nasdaq. Appreciate it, Los. But NQ is my baby, my bread and butter. I used to be an addict for zero DTEs, which is we'll get into that. But QQQ and SPY were two ETFs I used to love, and basically the Nasdaq NQ is an exact reflection of QQQ. And I love being on one chart. It's like the best thing ever because I remember being on 17 before, like what Jeremy has going on in the background. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that. But
Mm-hmm.
I like to simplify it a little bit. I'm a simple man. Also, I tend to use minis. I have nothing against micros. Micros are great when scaling in, scaling out, they're great. I also, not opposed to when I teach telling people to start off with micros before the minis. Minis, that's the big leagues. You know, you have to be able to execute. Also it's lot that goes into it. I'm not going to teach a whole lesson now. But yes, I love NQ and I love minis.
Love it. And for those who do trade options, what's cool is when we have live trading with, again, UET Wilson, who's our futures analyst. And again,
Mhm.
starting next week, Jaden, we're going to have the
Mhm.
privilege and the honor of live trading with him as well. If he's trading NQ and you don't trade futures, you can take the same setups and plays directly correlating on QQQ. Or if he's trading ES on SPY, because they are a direct reflection of each other, which again is why we teach both simultaneously here at
All
UET,
right.
because they're so, involved. If there's no more questions, I'll give it maybe a few more minutes. I want to rapid fire a few questions to you, Jane, just
Okay.
that maybe people would be interested in hearing or knowing. So, are you a scalper, day trader, swing trader? Like, how long are you typically hanging in trades?
Yeah, so I like to dibble and dabble in a few. I love to scout. I love my quick trades, my quick setups. So a lot of the time, many of my trades are under 60 seconds. That's being conservative. Might have trades at times that last not even 10 seconds. In and out, very quick with execution. Also, there are certain reversal strategies I have. It might be anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes where I let it cook, in the crock pot. But I do love to scalp. I love quick. Some days I'll be done by 9:45, 15 minutes after the market's open. And I just shut my computer off. I'm good to go. But I love a good scalp for sure.
That's perfect. I love it. And you guys have heard my take on scalping and why it's really one of the only ways to have consistent profitability in the market, like month after month.
Yeah.
If you guys follow any of the big traders out there who are big day trader swing traders, you'll see big, huge months, but then you'll see equally, sometimes even worse, losing months, right? So I'm a huge fan of scalping. And as you guys can see, again, making $20,000 in a week, scalping can provide a lot of opportunity. Another question. We got two here. When
Mm,
the market breaks a key
okay.
level, what tells you it's a genuine breakout versus a liquidity grab?
Okay, we're getting into it. I love
Yeah,
it. I
give
love
give him
it.
the clip, give him the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. I'll give you the cliff notes. But when it breaks the key level, first off, volume is a major indicator for me. Volume can tell me a lot. I'm not gonna overanalyze, give away all the sauce, but volume is a huge indicator. Um, Also, there might be some news event. It might have been a level that it's tested many times before. But at times, I might just be looking for a 15, 20 point scalp, and I take it before it even pulls back. At other times, there might be a retest, and I'm, waiting for some extra confluence. But it all really depends. That's something that, would really cause me to go into a whole lesson. So I'm sorry I can't give you a full answer, Nate. But there's just a lot of different circumstances on what I decide between the two.
I've always said this, and I will just point this out, and I think you just articulated it so well. Trading is, if you're listening to music, it's like jazz music, where it's kind of like you don't really know where it's going to go, right? Sometimes it's going this way, then it slows down, then it gets really fast, and it's in major key, then it's
hmm
in a minor key. And the point being is trading is an art, right? Trading is an art form, and people want it to be how they learn in school, which is a math equation, here's the answer, right? Like that's what everyone wants
For
because it's
sure.
easy and it's simple. And of course,
hmm
obviously, of course, we all want that. If that's how it was, everyone would do it. But no,
Yeah.
it is an art form, right? And I think what Jane does, he does so well with that. Another quick question, and then we'll kind of start wrapping things up here. Do you focus more on order flow and liquidity zones, or do you trade off structure and imbalance setup?
Yeah, so it's funny. There's a million different terms and buzzwords for all the same things.
Yeah.
It just so happens I know what a few of the things you're talking about are, but I just use different words for them. Um, really. Volume is huge for me in my key levels, which you may be saying trading off structure. Yes, a lot of key levels. I look for a lot of levels of consolidation. I mark them accordingly. Um, but yeah, I like seeing reactions through to and through key levels or rejections or bounces off of them. I like all that good stuff, but the volume is one of my best friends when it comes to figuring out what's going down in the market.
And I love to hear that. It's pretty cool, right? Having 3 years, I haven't really gotten to talk with Jaden, you guys, about how he's got to where he is now. I mean, this is all what our foundations are here at UET,
Yeah.
right? Volume and key levels, and I believe that is one of the best ways to accurately predict which way a stock is going to go,
Hmm.
and being able to identify breakouts versus fakeouts.
Yeah.
Last question here, and then we'll answer the question of a bunch of you that have asked. What platform do you use to trade? So I guess which prop firm, what broker, like what are you using to trade?
Yeah, so I use TradingView is for all my charting, my execution, which happens to be connected through Trade but I have several prop firms that will eventually have some affiliate links with through UET. That's me manifesting. But yeah, if you like take profit, Alpha Futures, my funded futures, just to drop a few of my favorites. But TradingView is where I do all executions on.
I love it. And is that through Trade Is that who you use
Yes.
with?
Yep,
Okay,
via Trade.
perfect. Little bonus question here before we wrap up. Do you use any special volume tools or indicators, or just the standard volume profile that is on your chart?
Regular volume. When you type in my indicator, it says volume. And I use EMAs. Obviously, there's a million EMAs. I can't tell you too much, but that's my two.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, well, guys, Jaden has been incredible, and I want you guys to know, $20,000 weeks, only investing $500 in prop firms. I
Yeah,
want to make sure everyone knows if you want to learn how Jaden has done this and how you guys can have access to these prop firm accounts, receive profits and payouts. Again, only risking as little as $100, which I know
yeah.
most everyone on here has. There's a few ways you can get involved. Number one is if you message myself or Jaden directly. Again, Jaden is officially going to be helping us run our November 17th mastermind here at Uncommon Education Trading,
Yes,
which is
sir.
like one of the coolest things ever. Have a student turn into, the teacher, and I'm excited to
Yeah.
learn from him because he has developed such an incredible skill set with futures trading. So he's going to be teaching all of this from how to set up prop firms, what to be doing in the mastermind classes as far as like risk management goes, tickers he's trading, strategies he's using, how to
Yeah.
link accounts. If you're ready to scale up, all of the necessary information you're going to need. He is going to be teaching that at Uncommon Education, but also he's going to be live trading. So starting next week, we're going to start with just 2 days next week, Wednesday, Thursday. He's going to be live trading at UET. So if you guys want to have access to Jaden and what he does and learn from this absolute baller. By the way, how old are you, Jaden? I gotta
I'm
ask.
23, man. I'm 23. I'm approaching the mid 20s now.
It makes me sick. It honestly makes me sick to my stomach. Because when I was 23, looking back, and I'm just like, trying to figure out what in the world is going on in life. Like this young man, 23 years old. Are you kidding me, Jaden? Absolutely incredible. So if you want to learn from Jaden, few things. Number one is you can DM us at Uncommon Education Trading or Jaden Beard directly. We can schedule a call with myself, one of our team members, with Jaden, and we can give you more info on our mastermind program or to have access to the community where he's going to be live trading with us. You can also message me directly, right? The Jeremy Lieber or the Real Trader Jeremy on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'd love to help you there. So again, if you guys want to get involved, if you want to learn from this incredible trader before he gets huge and our mastermind price is double and then everything else happens, now's the time, right? It's like finding out about Bitcoin when it was at $5, right? Like that's what we're talking about here, okay?
Right.
But more than anything, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your story. It's really inspiring. I know for people listening, gives hope of
Hmm.
like maybe where they're at and what they want to get to. So I'm gonna let you kind of finish, Jaden.
Yep.
Everyone listening who is either on the fence of wanting to learn trading, has tried trading and hasn't succeeded, any just like advice for
Yeah.
life, for trading, however you want to kind of, wrap things up here, what would you
Yeah.
what would you share to those listening?
Um, I would say I don't like anybody that half steps at anything they want to pursue. Whatever you do, don't do it partially. No, one foot in, one foot out. Have passion for it, become obsessed, and get great. The only people that don't become profitable in trading, let alone anything else, is those who quit. Um, and yeah, you just gotta hone in on the craft and be okay with not being great at something immediately because once it clicks, it's going to change your life, point blank. But if you guys have questions, you heard Germ, you can reach out to him or me. We'll set up a call with one of us, and we'll get it going. But besides that, I appreciate everybody tuning in on a random Thursday night. Definitely appreciate it with football about to be on. But yeah,
Absolutely. Thursday night football, can't wait. Again, guys,
yeah,
Jaden, what a stud. Thank you so much for being here. Going to be hopping in our live training sessions next week, helping on our
for
mastermind
sure,
program. If you have questions, anything, let us know. But Jaden, seriously, dude, thanks for hopping on. I know so many people here have benefited. And guys, thanks for your awesome questions. Awesome to see and hear, so many, good questions that have come through. So no, Jaden, really appreciate it, dude.
appreciate you guys. You have a good night.
Have a great rest of
Bye.
your night, guys. Later.
All
Peace.
right, peace.